Joe, you guys talked a lot over the past couple days about getting reconnected, fighting back in moments. You guys were down nine late in the first, down nine early in the third, then had that timeout at the beginning of the fourth. All moments where things could have gone a couple ways, and you guys responded every time. What was the difference today, and what did you see from your group in those moments where you were able to have big responses and turn this game around?
Yeah, I think just that poise. The trust in each other, the connectivity. I think just throughout a game, regardless of how the game was going, that stuff never waned. And so, listen, like when the stakes are really high and you're trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve, it's easy to lose those things, because the guys are playing as hard as they can. And so I just thought regardless of the result, the guys just stuck together.
The loss in Game 3, how did that kind of test you guys to kind of refine yourselves again, and how did you refine that trust over the past couple of days?
I think anytime you're in a do-or-die situation, it forces you to build an awareness and a perspective. And so it's always been there. And I think just the perspective of understanding just a week ago we had it. And so it's fragile, during these times. And so we just had to remind each other of that. And I thought the guys were connected.
The fourth quarter hadn't been kind to Jayson coming into tonight, but obviously got going offensively. What was the difference for him in the fourth quarter?
Our spacing was good. Our intentionality was good on what we were running and how we were attacking. And I just thought he got to his spots and made the right play.
Coach, after such a necessary victory for you guys, both for the series and emotionally, can you describe the state of the locker room now that this victory has come to kind of refresh everything for you guys?
The way it's been the majority of the season. And so I think that's important. And then just have understanding is we can't relax. We have to keep the same level of intensity, the same mindset, same focus for the next game.
Joe, the third quarter timeout where Jaylen was kind of stuck in the corner, what did you see on that play, and what was the key for Grant to be able to get back to being a 30-minute per game guy? You've said for a lot of the year that it's been a matchup issue that he hasn't been able to play as much.
Just wanted to make sure we got a good shot on that, and I felt like the possessions before that didn't go well defensively, but we were still playing with a good sense of pace, but we obviously lost the advantage and just kind of wanted to reset a little bit. We had lost a 50-50 ball to start the quarter that I think we just had to kind of nip that in the bud, and so I just took an opportunity to do that, and Grant just played solid. He made open shots, did a great job screening versus switch, and just executed the game plan defensively.
Joe, they tried to hit you early. They went up 9 a couple of times. What prompted you guys to kind of keep responding? Game 3, you kind of backed up a little bit, but you kept coming with force. What prompted that?
I think just the situation to where we had to rely on each other. Just continue to stay the course.
It wasn't Jimmy's most efficient night, specifically around the rim. I guess, what do you guys feel you guys did to kind of throw that off?
I just thought our pickup points, our ball pressure was pretty good. We got to do a better job defending without fouling, staying down on fakes. But I thought just our ball pressure was a little bit better.
Joe, can it just be boiled down to as simple as a bunch of three-pointers from guys who just haven't been hitting them? Al hit 3, Derek hit 3, you have 4 from Grant. That's contribution from role players that you haven't been getting.
I think that plays a part in it. I think at the same time we didn't make shots. We had like a empty possession stretch in both halves where we continued to defend at a high level. And so I think it's the combination of defending at a high level regardless of if those go in, but obviously when they go in, they help. And it makes things a little bit easier for you.
Joe, that third quarter timeout you called when Jaylen got trapped, what did you say to them in that huddle? Because the execution was just so on point right away from that moment.
I just told them, we can't start the quarter off not getting a 50-50 ball and just keep your poise and execution. And I thought the guys had a great awareness to intentionality to what we were running. Spacing was good and execution was good.
Coach, Jayson Tatum in the fourth quarter found his offense in a big way. What did you see in his approach in this game compared to what you've been seeing fourth quarter execution throughout the entire series?
Just patience, executing the spacing, and then just making the right play.
Joe, after Game 3, you said you thought the team lost some of its defensive identity.
guess you feel like you got some of that back tonight, and what did you like about how you guys responded on that end?
Yeah, in the sense of like, regardless if the ball goes in, you have to defend, and so we didn't do that at times throughout the series, and I thought tonight we did that, which empty possession or not, we still guard at a high level, and when we're at our best, that's kind of what we do, that's what we have to do.
Any other questions, Joe? Final question
At shoot-around this morning, the guys seemed really kind of loose and really confident, especially in what they're saying to us. What did you kind of see leading up to this over these past 48 hours when, it could have been easy to not be that way and pack it in a little more? What kind of were you seeing from them during that time?
Just the connection, the togetherness, and awareness, the perspective, understanding. The situation that we're in, you don't really have a choice. It's a do or die, so got to stick together.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
I know he'll get checked again tomorrow, but what's the level of concern with Gabe?
Yeah, we'll have to find out tomorrow. Whenever you ask these guys, they're like, I'm fine, so, we'll see. I didn't even see the replay of it. Yeah. Okay.
Coach, want to talk about his grit when he went to the locker room and came back out. What did that mean to you?
I mean, Gabe is as tough as they come. He just wanted to, he said, let me retape it. We have a lot of guys in the locker room like that. All year long they've been putting themselves out there. So, that's why he has so much respect in that locker room.
So you guys were able to build that 9-point lead early in the third quarter. What kind of changed from there on both ends as far as them starting to get hot from three and then maybe the ball sticking a little bit?
Yeah, that's probably right out of my thought process. Played a little bit slower. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of flow to the offense, and then they capitalized on that. Getting out in transition, which they've been trying to do, is speed this thing up a little bit, and then they knocked down some threes, and it just they got the 2-point lead just like that, and then from that point, they mostly had control of that second half. You have to credit them for that. They defensively took advantage of our ball holding. And we're a little bit late getting into our stuff. And they have good individual defenders. So we have to do this thing collectively. That's when we're at our best. And then obviously really dial into the transition and the threes. When they get a couple to go down, they're just like us. Then it can turn into more.
That's what I was going to ask you about the three-point shooting. I know it's a make-or-miss league, but was there something they did that kept you down on your three attempts at conversions and something you didn't do that let them have this sort of breakout game?
Well, last game as well, they had 42 threes. They had 45 tonight. So they're not going to shoot that poorly, that many times in a row, particularly if they're getting some open ones. They got a lot of clean ones tonight. So I'll have to see what kind of efforts or breakdowns we had with that. And then, I think it's probably pretty easy to keep our three-point shooting down. We just weren't doing things with a lot of oomph to it offensively.
Not to harp on the threes, but that was obviously such a big difference maker in the game tonight. As you were watching it, did it feel like they were getting cleaner looks to you, or did it feel like maybe they were just catching fire a little bit?
Actually, a little bit of both. I did feel like they got some clean looks. Some definitely cleaner looks than they got in the first two games. But you have to give them credit. I mean, that's who they've been all season long. So it takes extraordinary efforts and focus and a commitment, to be in the right spot and to get them off the line, but also make those second, third, fourth, fifth efforts, whatever's necessary to get it done. For the most part on those threes, I think there were probably like one or two effort, plays, and it's not an indictment. Our guys really want this, it just sometimes happens that way. Offensively, we just didn't get into a great rhythm. Offense probably hurt us as equal as some things with our floor balance defensively. So we have some work to do to shore that up.
Tatum had a handful of early turnovers, and as the game went on, it seemed like he kind of stabilized. Is there anything the defense wasn't doing that you had done in the previous 3 games that maybe let him get some traction?
Great scorers, they're going to figure it out, at some point. You have to try to make it as tough as possible. He had some good, clean looks in transition, open threes, kind of end of possession stuff. Look, there's no easy way, particularly when you get to this point. You're not expecting a great player like Tatum to have multiple, off nights. You have to do things that will exceed it. And if guys bring their A game, we've proven that we can still win, regardless. I just don't think that we made those necessary efforts, focus. It wasn't all like, just lack of effort. It was, all being on the same page defensively when we're at our best, really disrupting the timing and rhythm, even against great offenses and great offensive players. But, I think also, the offensive I don't know how to say it, stagnant. There's another word for that. But we were a little bit stagnant offensively that kind of led to a lot of that lack of flow, both ends.
And that's a good point, Spo, just that the second half overall, when you see the shots aren't falling and that recipe of the turnovers too, just what stands out to you from that too? Does that affect the flow too, offensively for the Heat?
Yeah, both teams pride themselves on winning the possession games. I have not glanced at this closely enough, but I think categorically they won the possession game. They won the transition game, they won the three-point game, they probably won the free throw game, and they definitely won the rebounding game. That's tough to overcome. Now, even us, we can find ways to win, even if we lose all those, but that's not a good recipe.
Seems like their pace really went up in the second half.
Yeah.
That allowed them to open up some of those three-pointers.
For sure.
To see from your team to kind of combat that.
Without a doubt. They're trying to speed it up. It's not like, that's a shocker. And that's also the lineup they had for most of the year. A lot of spacing. So guys have, gaps. But we've proven that we can do that. Defend at a high level even against high-powered offenses. But it takes a great commitment and stability offensively as well, so you can get in that flow.
Spo, you praised the focus of the group throughout the postseason. Are you concerned at all about the human element of a letdown of, hey, we were at home, we were up 3-0, and we just couldn't close right now?
No, I didn't sense any of that. At some point, this is great competition. Sometimes it can get skewed because, the 3-0, but we have great respect for Boston, what they're capable of. They're a dynamic offensive team. It takes extraordinary efforts and commitment, to get the job done. Our guys really want this, but Boston has something to say about it as well, just like we do. Sometimes things don't go exactly as planned. A lot of what we've done this year has been the hard way, and we've been able to figure out ways to win, even if teams are playing well, if we're not in a perfect flow. And they got us tonight. You have to give them credit for that. There's no doubt about it. There's no questioning it. We're not wondering about that. They deserve to win tonight. We have to regroup and get ready for, a great opportunity in Boston. Okay, thank you.
Bam, you guys were doing such a good job through the first 3 games of really keeping them off the three-point line and limiting those shots. What went differently tonight when they were able to get hot from there?
Say it again. My fault.
Differently tonight, since they were able to get hot from 3 tonight?
What went differently? They made shots. They shot 50 from the field and 40 from 3. And this is, we always said the last one to get is the hardest one to get. So we knew coming in this game they was going to be desperate. And now we got to finish business in Boston.
Bam, this reminds me a little of after that game in New York when you came into the interview room there and said you had to do better and had to do more. Was there something specifically they held you down with tonight? And do you exit this game with that same feeling you sort of spoke to us about in New York?
Yeah. I had 4 turnovers. Only shot the ball 7 times. So, yeah, I missed 2 free throws back to back. So for me, man, next game's I got to be better.
Bam, it felt like Boston was maybe making a more concerted effort tonight to crowd the paint, regardless of who got in there. Did you notice anything they did differently defensively that kind of changed the way you guys played offense tonight?
I mean, they're desperate. Like I said, their backs are against the wall, so, they're going to play desperate. They're going to try to figure out ways to, to disrupt our game flow. But, the biggest thing about us, we got to retaliate.
Bam, Jayson can obviously, he can get his points, but was there anything that wasn't happening today defensively against him that maybe had been happening down the stretch of the last few games?
I think he just got hot. He's one of the tough players in this league. He got hot tonight.
Bam, closeout games seem to be hard at home, but on the road they seem to be harder. What is it going to take for you guys to rally the troops and get the job done on the road after losing the first home game this postseason?
I mean, come out and set the tone. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Set the tone and stick to our identity and play more detailed basketball.
Bam, obviously, you mentioned your turnovers there, but obviously as a team, they capitalize on it, on the turnovers that you guys commit as a team. You mentioned the frustration, but can you stand out? What stood out to the flow of the offense, though, when you see that recipe? Like I asked Coach Spo about the recipe of the turnovers and shots not falling.
I mean, if you're turning the ball over and you're not getting shots on goal, it's gonna be hard to win in this league. The biggest thing for us is get shots on goal and take care of the ball. Black Lives Matter, people.
Marcus, you get down 9 early second half. That play where Jayson blocked Strus, he got the ball back, then hit a 3. That's the type of plays they've been making all series. But you guys rallied instead. It's 18-0 run. What happened there where you guys didn't fold and back up, but you guys played with force?
We didn't get too high and too low. Those type of plays are devastating to teams. And they've been making it all series. Today, we just once he hit it, we just wanted to keep going. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to come down and try to get another block. And if they're going to do that again, then that's just how it's going to go. But we wanted to just come out and continue to play hard the right way, no matter what, and we did that.
Marcus, you and Jaylen said a shoot around today. Don't let us win one. Obviously, just one game, but now what?
Now we just got to go win another. That's all that matters. We take it one game at a time. We understand. The odds are stacked against us, but we're a team that believes in us no matter what, and we just got to keep going. And all that matters is the next game.
Marcus, what we saw today is what was missing in the first 3 games. What is going to be the key to finding consistency and replicating tonight's success?
Doing the little things over and over. Tonight was the little things. We trusted in each other. We believed in each other continuously. Even when we were down, we continuously believed in each other. And that's what we got to continue to do. No matter what, we got to continue to play the right way, continue to believe in each other, and let the chips fall where they may.
Marcus, in the second half, Joe called a quick timeout, and you immediately sat in the coach's chair, and we're talking to your teammates. You weren't on the floor at the time. What were you telling them, and what did you guys get back to?
Just tell them to keep going. This is a pivotal point for us right now. We got to turn it up a little bit more. If you're tired, come out the game. Get somebody else in there that's not fresh, that's fresh, and that can keep it going. But we got to continue to go and do whatever it takes to win this game tonight.
Marcus, along those same lines, there was a point there in the fourth quarter where you guys were walking it up, taking the full 8 seconds to get over half court, and then you got the ball and pushed and were waving guys over. Is there something in there where you recognize, hey, it's too early for us to be playing the clock game and we need to keep moving? What kind of message are you sending there in that moment to your teammates?
Just want to control the pace. When we can get out and run, we're a really good team. And this team does a really good job, Miami, of not letting you do that. So when we have those opportunities, we got to take full advantage of it. And that's just all I want to do. I think I pushed it and got Rob an open dunk and then got JB in one. So, just getting those guys out in transition and letting them make the right play.
Marcus, after that timeout in the third, it looked like Jayson kind of got the guys that were going back in a small circle, said some stuff to you guys. What was he telling you guys throughout the second half, and how was he setting the tone on both ends in that half?
He was just letting guys know, we here. Just keep going. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to win this game. We just got to keep playing the right way. And then he came out and led by example. He got the block. He's, he's helping. He's getting rebounds, and he's making his shots, making the right plays. And when you got a guy, like Jayson and Jaylen who's leading the way like that by example, everybody else falls in line.
Marcus, you didn't score in the first half, but 11 in the second half points. What did you do? What adjustments?
I just continued to take what the defense gave me. Take good shots, take the open shots, pick my spots wisely. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go in for you. But you got to stay confident. My teammates did a good job of making sure that I stayed confident and took the shots when I was open.
Marcus, you guys forced 16 turnovers tonight. That's the most since the first round. Defensively, beyond just the effort, what did you see from you guys tonight that kind of were able to up the pressure for you?
We were just playing Celtics basketball on the defensive end. Everybody was helping one another. We were going to take it. We're really leaving it up for grabs as much as we usually did. And it showed tonight, and that's just how we got to continue to play.
Marcus, you guys don't have to come back from 3-0 anymore. Now you have to come back from 3-1, and teams have done that. How important is it to just take one game and compartmentalize it and just go, okay, now we got to do this again and repeat back in Boston?
That's all that matters. It's one game, and we get to play in front of our home crowd. So they did a good job of, taking a nice lead in the series, and we did a good job of responding, and now we got to do it again, and all that matters is the next game.
Marcus, after that timeout early in the third quarter, you guys came out, started running shooters off the line and just kind of rotating aggressively on defense. How does playing that style kind of get back into that defensive identity you guys have of bringing the pressure up to them and then getting into transition?
Exactly that. We brought the pressure to them. We weren't playing off our back foot like we have been in this series. We were the aggressors on both ends, and we just wanted to continue that. And, once we start running those guys off the three and making them make plays, everybody just did a good job of rotating and helping each other out, and then that allowed us to get out and run.
Marcus, how big was Grant tonight and just his ability to stay ready?
Huge. He's a great professional. His professionalism is underrated. I know we talk a lot about Grant, but we love Grant and we love everything he brings to this team. You need a guy like Grant on your team to win, and he helps us win games. And when he's playing like that and he's focused like that, we're going to be all right. Thank you, guys.
Jimmy, it's only one loss, obviously, but is there any concern on your part that this could start to build momentum on the Boston side of things?
No. If anything, it'll build momentum for us, knowing that we have to play with a lot more energy. And, we got to play like our backs are against the wall. But I think all year long we've been better and we're able to do things the hard way.
Jimmy, sometimes in the playoffs there can be kind of these big swings within a series. There can be big emotional swings. After a game like this, how do you personally kind of avoid from getting too low yourself?
Stay consistent. Do the same thing that I do, that we do after every game. We're going to listen to some music. We're going to drink some beers back there. I'm going to go have some wine. I don't think that you could just focus on basketball all the time. You have to be able to, get away from the game a little bit. Think about it. But at the end of the day, you fall back on, your habits, how consistent you're going to be.
and myself and my teammates, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to smile. We're going to be in this thing together like we always are. We're going to go get one on the road.
Jimmy, did you think Boston was just one of these games that they're due because they are so offensively talented, or did you find yourselves as a team thinking there was some defensive slippage tonight?
I think yes, they are talented. And I would tell you in every game they just missed a lot of shots. Tonight they made shots, but we didn't do our job at making them miss those shots either. But I think we let go of the rope on the defensive side of the ball, turned the ball over, didn't get back in transition. All the things we said we were going to do, we did not. And that was the game. And it got out of hand pretty early. Our energy was low, which we cannot have. And it's on myself and it's definitely on the starting group to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Jimmy, Tatum and Brown shot much better tonight than they have in the series and had a lot more assists to turnovers. With them getting comfortable, did that kind of get in the way of you guys' defense? Did them getting comfortable early on set the tone from there?
Not really. I think we could still win the game. We just got to contest shots more, get back in transition. I'm not going to say make it a half-court game, but don't give them too many easy ones. And we see the ball go through the basket tends to grow. And for those guys, the elite scorers, they make layups, get some middies, get to the free throw line. They're going to start making everything.
Jimmy, you guys were up, I think, 9 early in the third, and it looked like there was an opportunity there, and then they just totally flipped the game. What shifted in those minutes?
Turn the ball over, didn't get back. That was the game. 38-23 that quarter. All transition, all open shots. That was it.
Jimmy, you and Spo have praised the focus of the group throughout the playoffs. With the way things kind of broke down in the second half, do you feel the need to say anything before Game 5 just so that the human element doesn't hit and it's not like, we had a chance to close it at home and we didn't?
The only thing I'm going to say is we'll be okay. Let's get back to doing what we've always done to get us to this point. Continually have belief in one another, knowing that we're going to win, and we will. We just got to play harder. There's not too much to say with this group because we already know, so we just got to go out there and execute.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yep.
Be able to bounce back in those moments to turn this game around.
Just stay with it. Didn't turn the ball over and made the right reads, I think. And defensively, we were a lot better today, too.
Jaylen, can you take us through that play, I think, in the fourth quarter where Derek blocks a shot, gets it over to Tatum to Horford, and he gets to do another basket. It just seemed like there were like 9 guys involved in that play. It just seemed like a perfect example of how you guys played as a team tonight. Can you just put that in words for me?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to take. We need more plays like that just to be flying around, play the game the right way on both sides of the ball, and have fun. I still think we could play a lot better. So, getting ready for the next game is going to be fun.
The way that they send help at you when you get into the paint, how important is it to kind of be patient with all of that and trust the pass and everything like that?
Yeah, I can't force it. They're trying to make me a playmaker, so tonight I think I did a better job of just getting into the paint and kicking it out. We got an advantage, made the next pass, and was able to get some open looks pretty much all night. So I got to continue to do that, and I think as that goes, as I continue to do that, my shot will start falling, and then we'll be able to go on a little run.
Jaylen, you were caught in the corner at one point in the third quarter there, and Joe called the timeout. Doesn't seem like something he does often to stop a play while it's breaking down, but how did you appreciate that, and what did he say in that timeout?
It just got us composed. It looked like, potentially like we was in a bad spot, and he called a timeout. I thought that was a good decision.
Jaylen, going back to your playmaking, you had a play where you were trying to get to that baseline pull-up that you usually go to get rolling, and you didn't have it, so you kicked it out and got a 3 right away. I guess how important was it for you guys that when the ball gets down to the corners, you don't just take that 3 that you get right away and you keep it moving?
Yeah, it's going the way they play defense, the way they play zone, the way they try to hide matchups, they try to make sure they keep their primary defenders, up higher and try to hide their lesser defenders. So it's been taking us a little while to kind of figure it out. And it ain't always going to be you scoring the ball normally because they're not guarding us normally. So you just got to find ways to impact winning.
and we got to trust each other out there, and that's what we're figuring out as we continue on with this series.
Jaylen, with all that's happened over the last couple of days, with the Game 3 loss, and you guys kind of coming together, what did this win mean to you guys as a group to fight the way you did?
Big win. Big win. Anytime you get the win in the playoffs, it means a lot. Definitely with our backs against the wall, we didn't want to go out like that. So we galvanized last night, and we all wanted to come out and win. And to be able to come out and execute and do it is big. So now we take it back home into the Garden and try to keep that and carry it on and try to get another win. You said earlier today, don't let us win tonight. That was your mentality. What did you want to take from this and spin forward? We want to come back to Miami. So if that happens, I feel like we will feel good about ourselves. So the next one should be fun. It should be a big one, and we got to come ready to play.
Jaylen, you mentioned you guys galvanized last night. What does that entail?
Just coming together, talking it out, and like a lot of times when you get to this point, down 3-0, you see, locker rooms and teams start to go in the other direction. We wanted to make sure that we stayed together. We wanted to make sure that we, look each other in the eye and came out today and put our best foot forward. And I'm proud of our group for doing that, because you see teams with their back against the wall and you see they just collapse. You didn't see that tonight. You seen us come together. You seen us play defense. You've seen us make the right plays, and I feel like that shows a lot about our character, especially in a game where everything is on the line and everything has went wrong in the last couple of games.
You mentioned that the defense was better today, Jaylen. What did you think was different about it, and what did you like about the way you guys defended them?
I think that we just, one, we was a little bit more connected. And I think, two, offensively, we took our time a little bit more, and we had a better offense so that, stopped them from scoring in transition. We didn't turn the ball over, so that kind of didn't allow them to capitalize off turnovers, and I think that led to, put more pressure on them. I think that's what helped our defense tonight.
And how much did it help for you guys to have some shots fall, particularly from three, after a rough couple games to start the series?
Great. And I still think we could shoot the ball a lot better. I feel like I had some good looks that didn't go in, but tomorrow, next game is a new game. I feel like as we continue to build confidence, if we keep seeing the ball go through the net, I think we're going to feel good about ourselves.
Jaylen, how big of an impact did Grant have for you guys on both ends?
Grant comes in and adds to winning. When he plays composed and he keeps his head, he can be a tremendous asset. And you just got to keep talking to him, keep letting him know where the game is at, keep telling him to make the right plays, play within his role. And I think that he did that tonight.
Jaylen, Marcus was in your ear a lot tonight. He was talking. What did he do, and how did you guys kind of, like you talked about the galvanizing yesterday, how important was that? Because it just seems like after that, like you said, after Game 3, you guys could have just made your, Cancun plans, and you didn't. You came back. How critical was that meeting, and Smart kind of always in your ear?
Like you said, I think that showed our character. Like right now, obviously we underperformed in the last 3 games, and you start to hear all these stories come out about X, Y, and Z. Who knows where they actually come from? And 99% of them is not true at all. So, we wanted to stay together, and I think that was the emphasis last night before we played today, was make sure we was on the same page. We didn't want to come out and lay an egg. We wanted to come out and play together. We wanted to come out, trust each other, come out, play some defense, have some pride about yourself, and find a way to win a game. And we all more than capable of doing it. So tonight we got it done. Smart was in my ear, let me know where the game is at. Just keep being aggressive, keep making the right plays. It ain't always got to be you putting the ball in the basket. I helped us win tonight. So just continue to make the right plays, and the game will open up for you. And that's what Smart does, is just be a leader, be vocal, and we found a way to win.
Sorry, Jaylen, a few people, you mentioned that you galvanized last night, and a few people asked you about that. Just to put some color on that, was this an organized team activity? Did you all bump into each other in a diner? Or just trying to get a sense on that. How did that all play out?
Just all together. I don't got to share no details. Just, we all, at some point during the day, yesterday we was all together as a team, and we wanted to come out and do what we did tonight.
forgotten, something you stopped doing, something they started doing? How did the energy of the game just switch so dramatically there?
I think we just missed shots that we typically were making. Sometimes it's just how the game goes. I mean, you miss a couple, they go on a run, and they hit a couple shots, and floodgates kind of open for them, and the basket got a little wider for guys, and sometimes it just happens.
Caleb, it felt like a lot of your guys' turnovers tonight came in the paint. It looked like it was really crowded in there. Did you felt like maybe Boston was adjusting defensively? Did it feel more crowded, or what do you think kind of resulted in some of those turnovers?
Definitely, yeah. I think they were, crowding the paint. They were being very active, and they had a couple turnovers, a couple deflections that led to turnovers for us. They just, that's what happens. You play desperately, knowing the season's on the line, and guys are active and they're playing hard, and they did what they're supposed to do.
Jimmy was just up here, and he didn't seem too concerned after the loss. But what do you feel like needs to be better in Boston in a couple days?
Just get better at what we were doing. Really, the biggest thing is putting this one behind us and understanding we got another one. That's the good thing about having to go to four, is that we got another one and have the opportunity to go play them at their place, and that's the good thing about the position that we're in right now, is that we have the opportunity, and we just got to make sure we come correctly and go take care of business in Boston.
Caleb, they've probably got too many shooters to shoot poorly, forever. But was there any difference in the quality of looks they were getting, or in the same way were your guys' closeouts the same as they had been in the first three games?
Yeah, I just we definitely didn't make them miss as much as that we did throughout the series. It was one of them games that they got open looks and guys were going there making the right plays, and you see a couple other ones go in, and you get confident, and those other guys feed off that. Like you said, they got a good group of guys who can really shoot the ball from the outside, and it was just one of them days that they got a rolling today. So we'll do a better job on our closeouts, our shrinks, and whatever else we have to do to get it done.
Caleb, how disappointing was it not being able to clinch at home 1 year after Boston clinched on your court?
It's definitely disappointing. That would have been a perfect world, perfect situation, but as we know, and everybody else knows, that we don't typically get things the easy way over here. So, like I said, this is right up our alley. This is the way it goes for us and guys like us, and I think it's only going to prepare us for the long run. So we need to, this could be good for us. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Jayson, what happened in the second half? 18-0 run, you hit, it seemed like those 2 threes after that Strus 3 got you going, and what happened, and how comfortable were you in that second half, especially the fourth quarter?
Yeah, we I honestly, like to start the third quarter, could have went the other way. We gave up some threes. We turned the ball over. But I think we just had to settle down a little bit. We saw a couple go in, and we started to play free. We were getting stops, getting out in transition. The ball was popping, and it was just finding guys.
Jayson, Jaylen said everything was kind of going wrong in the games before this. Where do you have to be at mentally and emotionally, or where were you at that point when they went up 9 in the third there and you guys did go on that run? Where were you personally at that point? Were you feeling like it was going to be another instance the last game, or was it different tonight?
No, I think we just had to regroup. And that's what we did. It could have went either way. We could have separated, or it brought us together. And we settled in and we just started making plays. Obviously shots would fall and things like that, but I think we were just playing the right way. We was getting stops, we was moving the ball. We played well.
Jayson, after Joe called that timeout early in the third quarter, you guys started running all their shooters off the line, and there's a few times they passed around it, but in general, they lost their three-point rhythm. You started getting transition buckets and kind of snowballed from there. How big a part of your defensive identity are those hard closeouts, and how much does that force you guys to play on a string and develop that connectivity across the board?
Yeah, I think today was our best defensive game. Just how we were moving, how we were rotating. We tried to make guys uncomfortable, and we were just there for one another. Right? It's not going to be perfect. You're going to get beat. You're going to go for a pump fake. But it just felt like we were all connected, especially in that second half, defensively, just rotating, helping, things like that.
Can you take us through that shot where Derek blocks the shot, gets it over you, you get it to Al, Al gets it under the basket to Brown. But it just seemed like perfect play in terms of you guys all being on the same page and teamwork. Can you sort of put that in words for me, that play?
I mean, you kind of said it. D. White got the block. Ball bounced in there. I grabbed it. And we were just running. We were running the floor. And I think our defense really affected our offense in a good way, in a positive way. We were getting stops, getting turnovers, and we were running, leading the transition baskets, and getting layups in transition just kind of opened up the game offensively for everybody.
Jaylen said that you guys galvanized yesterday. What did you do as a team to try to get back on the same page after the way Game 3 went?
Yeah, we just, everybody was in good spirits, right? Everybody was upbeat. And, as cliche as it sounds, we just tried to take it one game at a time. We tried to break it down of, we didn't play well those first 3 games. We didn't deserve to win. But, we didn't want that to define us, define the season. And we still got a long uphill battle to go. But tonight was a good start, right? And, we just try to carry this momentum towards Thursday.
Jayson, what did Joe drop in that timeout early in the fourth when you came back in, got that jumper at the elbow to, I think, put you guys back up 7? Did it feel good to keep that momentum going from the third quarter, given, there had obviously been all this talk about not scoring in the fourth quarter yet so far in the series?
I just didn't make no field goals. I was getting free throws in the fourth quarter. But, they was playing zone, and, quite frankly, we kind of struggled against the zone the first couple games. So it kind of had us stagnant. So when I came back in, he just drew up a play to get some movement, find an open space, and then, make the right play. And, I shot the ball and went in.
Jayson, you mentioned obviously just winning that turnover battle and how beneficial it was in the second half. I guess, how was that truly beneficial offensively on the offensive end for you guys when you guys were able to get the turnovers and have the confidence to make those shots?
Yeah, they're a really good defensive team. So the more opportunities you can get to push the ball, transition, when their defense is not set, when they score, it's easy to set your defense. But, you're getting stops, you're getting turnovers, and you're running. Maybe there's a cross match, you find a mismatch or something. That's how we want to play with pace. So getting stops and forcing turnovers and things like that, is obviously helpful for us.
Jayson, how do you guys maintain that defensive connectivity in the next game and against the inevitable adjustments that Spo and the Heat are going to make?
Yeah, we got to watch film, right? I'm certain they feel like they could play better and some things that they can do differently. And, even though we won, it's things that we got to clean up and be ready for the adjustments from game to game. So just part of being in the playoffs.